The TV series Bridgerton has captivated audiences worldwide with its lavish costumes, elegant sets, and well-developed characters. And of course, streaming on Netflix has contributed to its popularity. To all the Bridgerton fans, tell us in the comments what makes this show so special to you. As you might have guessed, today we're learning English with Bridgerton. Colin and his sister grapple with the shocking revelation of Lady Whistledown's true identity. You will be able to learn these and other advanced words from today's lesson on our real-life English app. There you will find an exclusive deck of flashcards that we created to accompany this lesson with Bridgerton. I will tell you more about it later, and now let's watch the first scene with the subtitles. And then you will learn all of the most important things about the vocabulary used in the scene. This lesson is jam-packed with advanced expressions. So, are you ready to go back in time to 19th century London? Let's go!
Did you know she was Lady Whistledown?
You spoke with Penelope this morning?
Yes. She is devastated about Miss Cowper coming forward. Tell me you did not know.
No, not about Cressida. The friendship was already souring, but this caper may be the final straw.
I should hope so. I suppose it would be nonsensical for you to have befriended her if you knew, considering everything she's written.
You have been so angry with Whistledown. What will you do?
There is a part of me that should like to march to house with a pitchfork. Did you know she was Lady Whistledown?
You spoke with Penelope this morning?
Yes. She is devastated about Miss Cowper coming forward. Tell me you did not know.
In this scene, when Colin says Penelope is devastated, he means that she's totally shocked by the news of Miss Cowper coming forward as a Lady Whistledown. And to come forward means to publicly reveal a secret or hidden identity. Miss Cowper came forward as a Lady Whistledown, meaning she confessed to being the anonymous gossip writer.
Did you know she was Lady Whistledown?
The combination of the letters D and Y gives us a J sound. Did you? Did you know she was Lady Whistledown?
You spoke with Penelope this morning?
Yes.
As it often happens in casual speech, natives would drop the function verb do, did in questions. In the scene, Eloise starts her question with, "You spoke with Penelope?" In a formal setting, it would be correct to say, "Did you speak with Penelope this morning?"
The friendship was already souring, but this caper may be the final straw.
I should hope so. I suppose it would be nonsensical for you to have befriended her if you knew, considering everything she's written.
When a relationship is souring, it means it's becoming less friendly or pleasant. Eloise says her friendship with Cressida was already souring, suggesting there was tension or conflict between them before her revelation. Souring in this context means weakening and bringing disappointment.
The friendship was already souring, but this caper may be the final straw.
I should hope so.
In this context, the word caper refers to these anonymous gossip posts written by Lady Whistledown. The origin of this word in English is quite amusing. It actually comes from the Latin word capra, meaning goat. This connection likely arose because goats are known for their playful behavior. Over time, caper evolved to describe a mischievous activity, especially one that involves some degree of risk or daring.
Hey, what do you think?
Hey, I love a good caper.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? A caper.
The final straw is an idiom that means the last in a series of events that makes someone finally lose their patience or decide to give up. In this case, Eloise says that the anonymous gossip posts were the final straw that completely ruined her friendship with Cressida. Here's another situation where you could use this idiom. The customer had been patient with the slow service, but when the restaurant got his order wrong for the third time, it was the final straw. He decided to leave and never come back. Something that is nonsensical doesn't make sense. It's illogical or absurd. Colin finds it nonsensical that Eloise would be friends with Cressida if she knew Cressida was a Lady Whistledown, given the hurtful things she wrote about their family and friends.
I suppose it would be nonsensical for you to have befriended her if you knew, considering everything she's written.
To befriend someone is the same as to make friends with someone. It just sounds more formal, but it's commonly used in modern English alongside a more casual make friends with.
I'm Beth Ann Flannery. I like to befriend my seatmates in case we crash so they're more inclined to pull me from the wreckage.
You have been so angry with Whistledown. What will you do?
There is a part of me that should like to march the house with a pitchfork.
So, a pitchfork is a farm tool used for lifting hay, and to march is to walk in a determined way. This imagery, march to her house with a pitchfork, evokes a scene from old movies or stories where an angry mob would use pitchforks and torches to confront someone who has done something wrong. Colin's mention of a pitchfork emphasizes his anger and desire to hold Lady Whistledown accountable for her hurtful gossip. The word angry can be followed by either with or at. Here's the difference. Angry with is used when you are upset with a person. It's more personal and often directed at someone you have a relationship with. Angry at is typically used when you are upset about a situation or an object. However, it doesn't always work like that, and you can commonly hear angry at said about a person. Here are some examples. She's angry with her parents for not letting her go to the party. She's angry at her cat for scratching the furniture. He was angry at his phone for dying in the middle of an important call. Don't be angry at yourself if you tend to forget the new words and expressions in English that you learn. Better try our deck of flashcards that we created for today's lesson in our Real Life English app. Using your phone, click on the link in the description to get started. And if you tried such flashcards with our earlier lessons, please do write us in the comments about your experience and how helpful these flashcards have been in your English learning journey. Now let's watch the second clip.
I saw you leaving a private room with Penelope last night, shortly before I found her.
I had been trying to make her tell you.
You should have told me yourself.
And you should have told me you were in love with my best friend before you tripped into the drawing room engaged. I did not know until last year. And I was too broken-hearted to speak of it. I had been trying to make her tell you. And then I thought, why break your heart as well? Her sheet has been fair this year. Certainly sharp and biting, but she has not written anything withering about anyone, or if she has, they have deserved it.
Are you forgetting what she wrote about me at the start of the season?
Of course, that was not so good.
Have you already forgiven her?
I want to. Do you think you can?
I think you should consider yourself uncommonly lucky you have never been in love. I saw you leaving a private room with Penelope last night, shortly before I found her.
I had been been trying to make her tell you.
You should have told me yourself.
And you should have told me you were in love with my best friend before you tripped into the drawing room engaged.
The phrase shortly before means a little earlier before a certain event. In the scene, it means that Eloise was with Penelope a little while before Colin found her. Should have told indicates a past action, telling, that didn't happen. We use should have plus past participle, or the third form of the verb, when we mean something in the past was a good idea, but we or someone else didn't do it.
What's going on?
I should have told you this earlier, but it was weird.
When you trip into, you stumble or fall into something. In this context, trip into means to enter a room clumsily or unexpectedly. When a couple agrees to get married, they get engaged. The drawing room is a somewhat outdated name for a living room. The drawing room was a formal reception room for guests in a usually big house. This whole phrase implies that Colin announced about his engagement in a somewhat surprising and unplanned manner.
I did not know until last year. And I was too broken-hearted to speak of it. I have been trying to make her tell you. And then I thought, why break your heart as well?
Eloise says that Penelope was broken-hearted. That is, she was overwhelmed with emotional pain and disappointment.
Her sheet has been fair this year. Certainly sharp and biting.
Sheet here refers to Lady Whistledown's gossip posts. Fair means that the gossip hasn't been overly critical or harsh, and it was deserved.
These are the hot sheets. Best investigative reporting on the planet. Go ahead, read the New York Times if you want to. They get lucky sometimes. Thanks, Manny.
Eloise keeps talking about the gossip sheet, describing it as sharp and biting. This phrase describes something that is very insightful, sharp, and possibly harsh or critical, biting. It means Penelope's writings have been clever and potentially critical. Withering is another word she used to talk about the critical and devastating nature of the gossip. In this context, it implies Penelope's writings have not been severely critical or damaging to anyone recently.
Wow, that was devastating. Withering. I mean, I don't think he's ever gonna get over that.
Have you already forgiven her?
I want to. Do you think you can?
I think you should consider yourself uncommonly lucky. You have never been in love.
Colin says that his sister is uncommonly lucky. This phrase means that she is unusually fortunate. Colin suggests Eloise is very lucky because she hasn't experienced the pain of being in love. And you are uncommonly lucky to be learning English in a fun, natural, and convenient way on our channel. Now let's watch the clip one more time without subtitles to see how much you understand. It's time for a test.
Did you know she was Lady Whistledown?
You spoke with Penelope this morning?
Yes. She is devastated about Miss Cowper coming forward. Tell me you did not know.
No. Not about Cressida. The friendship was already souring, but this caper may be the final straw.
I should hope so.
What does the word souring mean in this context? Strengthening, weakening, inactive.
I suppose it would be nonsensical for you to have befriended her if you knew, considering everything she's written.
The word nonsensical is the opposite of reasonable, illogical, foolish.
You have been so angry with Whistledown. What will you do?
There is a part of me that should like to march the house with a pitchfork. And if you wished me to, I still would.
Which image shows a pitchfork?
I saw you leaving a private room with Penelope last night, shortly before I found her.
I had been trying to make her tell you.
You should have told me yourself.
And you should have told me you were in love with my best friend before you tripped into the drawing room engaged. I did not know until last year. And I was too broken-hearted to speak of it.
What does it mean if you are broken-hearted? You are not kind to people. You have a heartache. You are overwhelmed with sadness.
Her sheet has been fair this year. Certainly sharp and biting, but she has not written anything withering about anyone, or if she has, they have deserved it.
Are you forgetting what she wrote about me at the start of the season?
In this context, what does sharp and biting mean? Insightful and critical. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for learning with us today. I feel like you've learned so many new advanced words. Please remember to review and memorize them with the special deck we created for this lesson on our Real Life English app. To get started, please, using your phone, click on the link in the description to this video. This is the easiest way to make these words stick with you forever. If you enjoy learning with the British English, you can watch this lesson next.
However, I was unaware that you were being guilted into anything.
The land where I come from is exactly how your mother explained. Harsh and barren. This union will save us. I've made my peace with it. My happiness is a small price to pay for the future of my people.